Lieutenant Sorrel adjusted her console display for the 20th time that night shift, though nothing on the screen warranted such attention. Echo, 7 sensor station, sat at the forgotten edge of the Archon Empire's territorial space, a solitary outpost monitoring the vast emptiness where Imperial sovereignty gradually dissolved into lawless frontier. Most officers viewed assignment here as career purgatory. Sorrel saw only opportunity if she remained vigilant enough to seize it. Her fellow officer, Lieutenant Marcos, lounged in the adjacent chair, scrolling through recreational feeds on his personal tablet. Another exciting night of staring at nothing. Sorrel? The unknown deserves respect. Marcos. Our charts show empty space, but many things hide beyond our understanding. Sorrel's fingers danced across her console, running diagnostic sequences out of habit rather than necessity. A sharp proximity alert shattered the monotony. Both officers straightened, Marcos dropping his tablet as the main display erupted with cascading error messages. What the hell? Marcos leaned forward, squinting at the jumbled sensor data. Malfunction? Sorrel's hands flew across her controls, isolating the source of the disturbance. No malfunction. We've detected something moving at impossible speeds. Her voice tightened as she read the system's automated analysis. Unknown ship detected. Speed too fast to calculate. Impossible, Marcos scoffed. Check the identification protocols. I'm checking. Sorrel's fingers trembled slightly as she entered the commands. The response appeared instantly. No data, no origin. Their sensor array began fluctuating wildly, warning indicators pulsing across multiple displays. Without warning, their connection to the outer perimeter satellites terminated completely. Report this to Imperial Command immediately, Sorrel ordered, already composing an emergency transmission to the Central Authority on the capital world of Alicia. A standard acknowledgement ping returned, but accompanied by a brief text response. Maintenance in progress. Maintenance? Marcos raised an eyebrow. At this exact moment, Sorrel's stomach churned with unease. Something felt fundamentally wrong about this situation. She expanded her sensor sweeps, attempting to gather more data on the anomalous contact. We should reboot the entire sensor array, Marcos suggested. Clear this glitch from the system and lose whatever data we've captured about this vessel. Sorrel shook her head adamantly. This could be the most significant discovery of our careers, or it could be nothing more than cosmic interference. You're risking disciplinary action by violating standard protocols. Before Sorrel could respond, the interference pattern intensified dramatically. The unknown signal seemed to pulse with purpose, almost as if reacting to their discussion. She made her decision instantly, downloading all sensor data to her personal storage device. I'll accept responsibility, she declared. Something extraordinary is happening here, and I won't let bureaucratic procedures blind us to it. Part 2. Cracks in the Empire's Wall. General Harrick studied the emergency report from Echo 7 with mounting concern. The military command center on Alicia bustled with activity around him, but his attention remained fixed on the anomalous data. An unknown vessel capable of defying their understanding of physics should have triggered immediate mobilization. Instead, his superiors on the Royal Security Council had dismissed it as minor border interference. General, his aide approached hesitantly. The Council requests your presence. Harrick nodded absently, still processing the implications. Something nagged at his memory, a half-forgotten detail from his early career. He accessed the classified archives, searching for similar incidents. Several reports surfaced, all labeled unverified and relegated to obscure storage. Pattern recognition software highlighted common elements. Unknown vessels, impossible speeds, vanishing without trace. Each incident buried under layers of bureaucratic indifference. One file reference caught his attention: Project Echo's Remnant. The designation triggered memories of his first command assignment. The Empire had conquered an ancient civilization, seized their resources, and purged their history. Standard procedure for expansion, but something had felt different about that campaign. What did we erase? Harik muttered, digging deeper into restricted files. Meanwhile, at Echo 7, tension mounted between Sorrel and Marcos. The interference continued to evolve, defying their attempts at analysis. "This is career suicide," Marcos insisted. "Erase the data, follow protocol, and we can forget this ever happened. How can you be so blind?" Sorrel gestured at the fluctuating displays. "This phenomenon challenges everything we understand about propulsion and physics. We have a responsibility to investigate." Without warning, an unfamiliar voice resonated through their internal communication system. "We are still listening." Both officers froze, staring at each other in shock. The voice vanished as quickly as it appeared, leaving no trace in their audio logs. "Did you hear that?" Sorrel whispered. Marcos nodded slowly, his skepticism finally cracking. Other station personnel began reporting similar experiences, spreading panic through the facility. Sorrel quickly transferred her downloaded data to a secondary backup, while Marcos yielded to pressure from higher command to purge their systems. As he initiated the deletion sequence, every light and screen in Echo 7 flickered violently, as if something fought against the erasure of its existence. Part 3. Opening the Sealed Secrets. General Harik commandeered a fast courier vessel for his emergency inspection of Echo 7, accompanied by a specialized technical team. During transit, he reviewed Sorrel's covertly transmitted data, noting the acceleration patterns that defied known physics. Upon arrival, he met privately with Sorrel and Marcos. The young lieutenant presented her evidence about the mysterious voice, while Marcos expressed reluctance to contradict official directives. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the station. The unknown vessel had returned, now holding position dangerously close to Echo 7. Radar screens displayed nothing but chaotic interference patterns. Harik shared his findings with the officers. A century ago, the Empire encountered a species with rudimentary reality manipulation technology. We conquered them, absorbed their resources, and erased their existence from history. Why would we hide such knowledge? Sorrel demanded. Harik sighed heavily. The Empire doesn't want anyone to know what we're capable of, or what we've done to achieve our dominance. Technical staff grew increasingly anxious, some requesting immediate evacuation. They believed the vessel could disable their weapons systems at will. Orders arrived from high command. Lure the vessel into a trap. Deploy long-range EMP weapons. Sorrel protested vehemently. What if they're not hostile? What if they're survivors seeking justice? Orders are orders, Harik replied grimly, though doubt clouded his features. They established their trap near the dead planet designated 245K. Sorrel watched through the command deck viewport, a sense of dread growing within her. Part 4. Confrontation and Punishment. A small Imperial fleet assembled at 245K, EMP cannons primed and ready. Harik assumed temporary command of the operation, though unease gnawed at his conscience. When the unknown vessel appeared, they fired a warning shot. The energy beam dissipated mid-flight, seemingly frozen in space before vanishing completely. Their systems experienced widespread disruption. A massive shape materialized on their sensors, dwarfing their previous contact. This appeared to be a mothership or central command vessel for the mysterious force. A message broadcast across all channels. You have forgotten. We have returned to remind you. Instantly, an Imperial cruiser suffered complete power failure. Rather than exploding, it simply disappeared from their sensors, as if transported elsewhere. The alien vessel activated some form of energy field. Every Imperial soldier began experiencing vivid hallucinations, witnessing memories of the Empire's darkest deeds, planetary destruction, enslavement of species, cultural genocide. Sorrel and Harik staggered under the psychic assault, forced to confront atrocities their history had concealed. Marcos collapsed entirely, his unwavering faith in Imperial righteousness shattered. Several ships panicked, opening fire indiscriminately. Their weapons proved useless, projectiles and energy beams dissipating harmlessly. A second message followed. We do not destroy, We only return what you try to forget. The mothership withdrew, leaving a final transmission. We await you at the origin of your sins. Come and answer for them. Harik and Sorrel remained stunned, realizing the Empire faced something far beyond conventional warfare. Part 5. Facing the Truth. Through careful analysis, Sorrel deduced the origin of sins referred to the homeworld the Empire had decimated to establish its dominance. A planet systematically erased from official records decades ago. Harik, Sorrel, Marcos, and a small team decided to defy orders and journey to this forbidden location, hoping to negotiate or find redemption. They found a devastated world, toxic atmosphere, scorched surface, ruins of an advanced civilization. The mothership waited in orbit, as if anticipating their arrival. A representative of the alien force manifested before them. This entity, possibly artificial intelligence or some hybrid of technology and consciousness, engaged them directly. The conversation exposed the full extent of Imperial crimes. The Empire had committed genocide against the natives to seize their reality manipulation technology. You taught us hatred, the entity declared. Now we use the very technology you stole to return your memories of guilt. Sorrel and Harik pleaded for mercy, promising to reveal the truth to all citizens of Archon and end the cycle of deception. The alien force considered their fate, total destruction, or a chance at redemption. Finally, the entity pronounced, "We will not fix your mistakes for you. You must do it yourselves." A brilliant light spread throughout the Empire's communication networks, broadcasting suppressed memories and truths to every citizen. Chaos erupted across Imperial space as soldiers and civilians alike demanded justice and change. Harik returned to the capital, finally brave enough to expose the orders that had buried history. Sorrel and Marcos supported his efforts, spreading truth wherever they could. The mothership vanished, leaving behind a warning. Remember this lesson. Forget, and we will return. As Sorrel and her companions departed the ruined world, they carried hope for a new era. The Empire remained on edge, destabilized, but perhaps ready to change from its foundations. They had learned that truth, like the mysterious vessels themselves, could never be truly erased, only temporarily obscured. Throughout their journey, the officers had encountered technology that defied their understanding, forces that manipulated reality itself, and most terrifyingly, the consequences of their empire's buried past. The unknown ship that had appeared at Echo 7 represented not just a military threat, but a moral reckoning centuries in the making. Sorrel reflected on how a simple night shift had evolved into a confrontation with history itself. The Empire's carefully constructed facade of benevolent expansion had crumbled, revealing the blood and suffering upon which their civilization stood. Yet within this revelation lay hope for genuine change. The mysterious aliens had neither conquered nor destroyed. Instead, they had wielded truth as their weapon, forcing the Empire to confront its own reflection. As riots and reforms spread across Imperial territories, Sorrel wondered if this chaos might birth something better, a society built on honesty rather than comfortable lies. General Harik faced military tribunals for his defiance, but found unexpected allies among younger officers tired of perpetuating falsehoods. Marcos, once a rigid adherent to protocol, became an outspoken advocate for transparency in government. The unknown ship's message echoed through Sorrel's thoughts. "We will not fix your mistakes for you." This wasn't a punishment, but a challenge. The Empire would either transform or collapse under the weight of its revealed sins. Either outcome seemed preferable to the continuation of their deception. Echo 7 Station, once a forgotten outpost, became a symbol of awakening. Pilgrims visited the site where truth had first pierced the Empire's veil of secrecy. Sorrel occasionally returned there, remembering that fateful night when an anomalous signal had changed everything. The aliens had called themselves remnants, survivors, keepers of memory. They had mastered technology that bent reality itself, yet chose to wield it with restraint. Their power lay not in destruction, but in revelation. They had forced the Empire to see itself clearly, perhaps for the first time in centuries. Revolution spread gradually through the Empire's vast territories. Some sectors embraced change eagerly, while others clung desperately to the old order. Civil conflicts erupted, but these battles felt different from the Empire's past conquests. They fought now for principles rather than profit, for truth rather than territory. Sorrel found herself appointed to a commission investigating imperial war crimes, her early vigilance having earned her a reputation for integrity. She worked tirelessly to document atrocities and recommend reparations to surviving species. The task seemed endless, each file revealing new depths of cruelty. Occasionally, sensor stations reported brief contacts with ships matching the aliens' unique signature. These vessels never engaged, merely observed from a distance before vanishing. Their presence served as a constant reminder of the consequences of forgetting. The Empire's technological advantage, built on stolen knowledge, began to erode as they shared scientific discoveries openly for the first time. Some feared this would weaken their civilization, but Sorrel observed the opposite effect. Collaboration replaced conquest, fostering innovations that benefited all species rather than enriching a select few. Harrick eventually cleared his name and accepted a position reforming the military academy's curriculum. He insisted that cadets learn the unvarnished history of imperial expansion, believing that only through understanding past mistakes could they avoid repeating them. Marcos surprised everyone by entering politics, advocating for a new constitution that enshrined transparency and accountability. His transformation from rule-bound officer to reformist leader inspired many who had similarly awakened to uncomfortable truths. The alien entities never returned in force, but their influence permeated every aspect of imperial society. Citizens spoke of them with a mixture of fear and gratitude. These beings who had shattered their ignorance without firing a single destructive shot. Some scholars theorized that the aliens had achieved a form of transcendence, evolving beyond physical needs to become guardians of historical truth. Others believed they simply waited, watching to see if the Empire would honor its promise of change. Sorrel often contemplated the nature of power as she witnessed the Empire's transformation. True strength, she realized, lay not in the ability to conquer or destroy, but in the courage to face one's own failings and grow beyond them. The aliens had demonstrated this principle perfectly, using their advanced capabilities not for vengeance, but for education. Years passed, and the Empire gradually evolved into something new. The name remained, but its character changed fundamentally. Former enemies became allies, and the pursuit of knowledge replaced the hunger for territory. The mysterious ships appeared less frequently, suggesting their guardians approved of the progress. Sometimes, during quiet moments at her desk, Sorrel would access her personal archive and review that first anomalous signal from Echo 7. The data still defied complete analysis, hinting at technologies and principles beyond human comprehension. She wondered if they would ever fully understand these beings who had chosen to be their conscience rather than their conquerors. The story of the unknown ship became legend, told and retold across generations. Children learned about the night when truth returned to challenge an empire built on lies. The tale served as both warning and inspiration, reminding all who heard it that even the mightiest civilizations must reckon with their past. As she aged, Sorrel established a foundation dedicated to preserving historical accuracy and promoting ethical governance. She named it Echo's Remnant, honoring both the station where everything began and the beings who had forced them to remember. The Empire on Edge had not fallen, but transformed. Its people now understood that true security came not from military might or territorial expansion, but from honest engagement with their own history and values. The unknown ship had delivered a message that resonated far beyond its initial appearance. Truth endures, even when buried beneath centuries of deception. In her final years, Sorrel often gazed at the stars, wondering if the Watchers still observed from afar. She felt no fear, only gratitude for the lesson they had taught. An empire could stand on many foundations, but only those built on truth would endure the test of time. The signal from the dark had illuminated their deepest shadows, and in facing those shadows, they had found their humanity once more.